It's another good morning in paradise, one day closer to the end. Didn't mention on yesterday's video, but yesterday, Paradise Power Company ceased to exist. A temporary line we put in 6 months ago to power this project. The box laid here for 3 days, nobody used it, so I figured it's time to take it out. All the power in the house is working. So I pulled the pole out, drug everything back there. I don't know if you can see that one pole that's left. I put the box on there for now to keep it out of the rain and just piled the wire on top of the bricks there. So Paradise Power is no more. And about 2 hours later was when our voltage dropped to 32 volts yesterday. Stayed that way for about 3 hours. Not sure what was going on there, but I'm going to stop by PEA today and ask them, they don't have some kind of protection on that when it drops that low to just shut off. Had a couple questions and emails and comments and stuff that I want to answer. First and foremost, I don't remember who it was, but somebody emailed me. I think it was email. Might have been comments. I don't know. But they wanted me to walk through this water system in detail. I've gone through it a few times, but it's bits and pieces hacked together here and there. So I'm going to walk through it. When we bought the property 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, the first thing we did is we had a meter of dirt filled into the rice field. Later that same year, the river flooded and the water covered everything out here behind me, in front of me. It got right up to the edge of our property. So rather than risk flooding our house, I said, well, when we go back, we're going to put another meter of dirt on it. So about 1.5 years ago, we come over, we put a meter of dirt on here. Before we left, we drilled this well. It's a 54 meter, well, probably 53 meter deep well. It's 54 from the head here. But so this is a 53 meter deep well. We dropped in a 1.5 inch pipe well when we got here first thing this year. That is in the playlist if you want to look for that. And then from that point on, you can see the entire build. But I'm not going to go through all the steps we went through to get it to this point, but we'll just walk through what I have now. So 1.5 inch pipe, got a check valve here, coupler here in through the wall, reduced down to 1 inch. I should have said I reduced it down to 1 inch out there, but this 1 inch coming through here. We have a carbon filter, and this is a manual back flush carbon filter. They make automatics, and I would like to have an automatic, but to have an automatic, it must be on a pressure operated pump because it will cycle into backwash whenever the brain and the computer thinks it needs to. And in order to back flush, it has to have water moving through it. Because I'm hooked to the well and the well cycles on and off with this tank, I have to use a manual one. So I will have to manually come out here and back flush this every so often. Now the manual says every 2 to 3 days, which I think is just absolutely ridiculous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test it for a while. I'm going to get a white cloth out there on the back flush every time I back flush it, and I will catch the first bunch of particles that come out to see how dirty it is. And then I'll just continually do that until I can judge how often I really need to back flush it. But so it's a manually operated carbon filter. Now there's more than just carbon in there. I think there's 3 different components in there, and I don't remember what they are right now. But this is Tai Watsadu. So from there, we just go straight into the tank. In the tank, we have one of those, where's that? Key series float levels like this. And that cycles the well on and off. And that's it. Right now I've got it set. So it's about this full. And when that float in there drops down to about right in here somewhere, it cycles this well pump on. And then it comes back up, shuts off. This is a pressure pump. So it is constantly powered and ready to go. As soon as you open a valve, that will cycle on once the pressure drops, and it will just continually pump until either the pressure builds up enough that it doesn't need to keep running, or you shut the valve off and the water flow stops. Most of the time, that's what's going to happen. You open the valve, pump cycles on, you close the valve, pump cycles off. And this is all 1 inch line. In order to back flush this, I put a bypass in on that float. All you have to do is take your neutral wire from going to your well motor and run it through that switch. So basically, when you hook the float up, this is your neutral wire going to the motor in the well. That goes into the switch. So here, you just put a jump, basically jump across that and bypass the switch. So when you flip the switch, the well turns on. Back to auto, it's on the float. So it's just a bypass around these two wires is all it is. This is a controller that, this isn't the one that came with a pump. The one that came with a pump, they burned up somehow. I have my theory how, but anyhow, I had to replace it, but this pretty much identical to the first one. And that is controller for the well. So we come through the pressure pump. Around here, I got a T out. This will go to irrigation and lawn hoses and whatever else coming directly out of that tank. Now, some people question, why wouldn't you just do it before the carbon filter, because you're just wasting your filter time or whatever. So the reason this is after this filter is because this line doesn't turn on unless this float is down. So you wouldn't have any water on there unless the tank is down, and then it's only going to turn on until it fills up and it's going to shut off. So it has to be after the pressure pump. Past the T there for the irrigation water, we'll call it. Come over here into the water softener. This is a automatic softener, also bought through Ty Watsadu. Pretty good installation guy, except never explained one word about how to operate it or what to do. He just was getting ready to get it. I said, well, you got an owner's manual or something I can read? And anyhow, he finally found one, and I got one from him. It's all in Thai, so I'm going to have to get it translated. But through the softener, this is the brine tank for the softener. Then we go down here, up through here, it's a big blue 25 micron filter, and that will just get out all the very fine particulates. From there we go down, and I run a line around here specifically for and only for washing cars. I wanted that for washing cars after the softener so you don't get the water spots all over your car. So that will not get used for irrigation, only car wash. From there it goes out through the wall, and then it ties into the house right here. It's tied in already, but the house is still open, so we can't valve that on yet. Yesterday, the backflush for the softener, I put this hole in here because this is the backflush line for the automatic backflush on the softener. This morning, when I get off the camera, I'm going to get the pipe in here and get this motored in, because he's mixing up motor over there right now. I'm going to steal some from him to flush out this pipe, and then I'll get this pipe put through this hole and keep that drain hole open. Okay, so I apologize. I don't remember who it was that asked about that, but that's my detail walking through the water system. And that setup is pretty much exactly the way Ty Watsadu recommended it. So if it's screwed up, call in, not me. Second question, I just got an email overnight from Kyron. I think it was Kyron was his name. He's commented on the channel a few times, but his question was, him and his wife were having a debate about how much property this is right here, specifically within these retaining walls. So the whole property is 2.1 rye. And for those of you in the U.S., that's right, just slightly over an acre. Our property line ends at that first canal running across there over to that big ugly stump. And it is, as you can see here, it gets narrow right at the back, so it's not an exactly square property. It is quite a bit wider at the front than the back on this piece we're standing on. But him and his wife were debating over how big this piece was up here. He said he thought it was slightly over a half rye. She said it was right at 1 rye, or over 1 rye, I think. I don't remember. But I emailed them back, gave them the specifics, but when I did the math on it this morning, it was 0.91 rye within these containment walls. Does not include the fish pond or the rice field. So if anybody was wondering, that's how big it is. We talked extensively about these water lines. We actually moved them from out here in the middle of no man's land over here right by the sidewalk. But we're still not happy with them. As you can see, they're still too shallow. So I think the plan is somewhere in the next week, Sompit and I are going to grab some shovels. We're going to dig a trench probably down at least a foot. And probably right here where they come out of here, just drop the pipes down a foot, run them along here. Just get them down out of the way so we don't have to worry so much about them. Problem is they're going to have to come back up somewhere right over here because there are drain lines going out here, through there, all across there, and they're under the concrete over there. We'll just have to deal with this over here, but we'll get this down out of the way where we don't have to worry about hitting it with a job, which is one of these tie hose. It's called a job. But we don't have to worry about hitting that in a couple of years when we forget the water lines are there and we're trying to plant flowers or something. At one point, I was talking about putting a solar well back there by just on the outside the fence of the fish pond. So Sompit did not want to give up the rice field to do that, so I just gave up on it. But now it sounds like she's more in tune to do that. But that solar well is still not off the table yet, I guess. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Duke, the last couple of days, have been asking us questions about doors, specifically which type of door we wanted here, what type of knob. Yesterday, he asked us to pick out a stain color for our interior wood doors. So the door guy's coming soon, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to steal some of his motor and get my pipe in the wall there so it's nice and dry. So if they show up for painting, they can get that painted for me. All right, it's evening in Paradise. Take a look at what we got done today. The door guys showed up, and we have some doors installed. We have that one. It's done, except the latch is not in yet with a deadbolt hole. And then the framework's got to get cleaned up. They got the door on the pump house hung, but no hardware in it. They are working on the door, I believe, for the bathroom. Yeah, for the little bathroom. They have Sompit's pantry door hung, but again, no hardware. No hardware, and the frame's not done. They somehow miraculously have cleaned all this wood up, but it's just funny. The paint guys go over and slop up the wood to make his job more difficult, then he goes through and sands all their paint off to make their job more difficult. But they got it cleaned up pretty good. I mean, there's still some evidence there. There's just no wet. He just colored them. It smells like stain in there. You can see white spots all over it. Look at that. But he hasn't done the doors yet. He'll color those too. And the door frame. The door frame. And I got this door hung. Same thing, no latch assembly. I planned on putting the stopper right here, but it's kind of coming out in a bad place, so maybe I can slide it over, but I'm going to have to put something there to make sure I'm banging against that. Go back in the kitchen, see what Tile Man's got done. He's been working on this countertop all day. He started putting the actual countertop tile down. And now you can kind of see the black marble pattern, black marble there. Of course, it's all being cleaned up. And looks like the block is too far out, so he's having to completely chip the surface off it to get the tile set back far enough underneath here. He's probably going to have to do that all the way around because these are 60 centimeter tiles, 60 centimeter counter, so if one of them is not long enough, none of them are long enough. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday, there's a little vent there that I bought. My son sent me from the U.S. We went through that yesterday, showed him how I want it set up under there, so he's going to do that for me. The doors guys said they will not get done today, and that's obvious. And they will. Today's Friday, they won't work Saturday or Sunday, so they'll be back Monday or Tuesday to finish up the doors. Once they're done, I believe the only thing we have left is the plumbers, the painters. The window guys have to come back to install all the screens and get the sliding glass door there, because there's actually it's not a pocket door, but it's like a pocket door. It'll be a glass door here that will slide back behind the refrigerator here. And then after that, the only thing left is just getting everything cleaned up leveled out as best we can and get that main power connected over there at the pole. Oh, and the security cameras. Security cameras got to get put up. The rock up here, but I think this guy here will do the rock. We're hearing he's going to stick around. He's going to put the toilets and stuff in. I don't think he's going to do all the plumbing, but he's going to do some of it. But maybe he'll do it all. I don't know. I'm not sure. Depends on how quickly everybody gets in and out of here when their turn comes around. But I would think within 3 weeks, this thing will probably get wrapped up. And that's just assuming that the door guys get back on time and the tile guy keeps moving forward. I mean, there's still a lot of little stuff to do. Obviously, we got to tile this and grout this, and the ceilings aren't done in these bathrooms yet. I mean, there's just a lot of little stuff, but all the kitchen cabinets got to get hung yet. Still got to do the countertop out there. Still got to build this, and so there's still a lot to do. So maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. They got the hinges on this door cut out for the knob. So it started getting warm today. We ran to Campflet, got a bag of fish food, and stopped through Lowe's, grabbed up some stuff. Got back here, it was kind of warm. All of a sudden it started cooling off, and then we got that cold gust of wind. I thought it was going to start downpouring, but I think it's just to the north of us here, and it might not get to us. But it's probably, I don't know, 85 degrees out right now, I suppose. Just beautiful. Nice breeze blowing. As soon as we get that to where it'll lock, we've already got a new motorbike picked out for some pit. We're going to go get that and get her on it because this one I bought is just too big for her. It's too heavy. This one weighs 160 kilos. The one we got picked out weighs 100 kilos. So it's quite a bit lighter. And it's a little shorter. It's just easier for her to stand over top of the thing and push it around when she needs to push it. But we've been holding off. We haven't had any place to really store another bike. So as soon as we can get this locked up, then we'll get her that bike and lock up this bike here when I'm not using it. All right, with all that, we will keep you updated in the morning. All right, so we were here till, oh boy, it was after 7 o'clock before I left last night, well after dark, and the door guys were still here. There were some things they wanted to get done before they took off, but they did get the door assembly. Why didn't they take that paper off there first? Well, that's stupid. Why didn't they take that off there before they put the damn knob on it? Anyhow, they got the lock assembly on here, so this building is secure now. Slide that shut, lock it, lock it, lock it. We're good to go. Doors on here. We did not get the latch thing here. Same thing here in the latch. This is a UPVC door, plastic. That's why it looks different. But I wish to Christ now I'd have just went with these wooden doors everywhere because I'm telling you that wood is so hard it would never rot anyhow. It's not going to be wet in here. I should have just went with those doors everywhere. Same thing, need to get a catch on here. This one is done. Got catches on it, except the deadbolt catch is not in it yet. But we did ask them to make sure they got these in before they left so wind couldn't get a hold of these exterior doors. So they stuck around and did these. They have not got started on our door yet. Same door as the other bathroom. No catch. The young guy has started on tiling this sink. He'll work on that today. I imagine it'll just take him a few hours and he'll get this tiled up. And that will be ready for the cabinet door and the top and then the sink on top the top. But they'll be back Monday or Tuesday to finish these doors. I don't know if they're missing hardware. They said they had something they didn't have to finish this door, so I don't know what they're missing. The door here is a sliding glass door that is like a pocket door, but not a pocket. It just goes in behind here. And they told us that the window people will install that when they come back. He did get the door there and the latch for the handle, but not the latch for the deadbolt. And got this door hung, no latch. He's working on tile on the front of here today. So I'm not sure why they did the countertop first and then the front here, and then the other ones are doing the front and then the top, so I don't know. I would suspect he'll get most of this done today. They'll be ready to put the cabinets in it and the sinks, and then we can start plumbing. Told yesterday that they're going to put the toilets in, these guys are. But I got my toilet seals here, so, and they've already seen them, so they know what's coming. Some pit dug this trench up. She said she's going to dig it out some more today, so I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. But we're going to get these pipes. We're going to get them both in the same trench and get them down deeper, at least through here. Not much I'm going to be able to do over there because they cross pipes through there. And they're under concrete over there. But we'll get this area right down through here where we want to put plants and stuff. So we know exactly where they're at and minimize how much space they take. So we'll pull them in close to the concrete and get them both right together right next to the concrete. Probably have that done by the end of the day. Back flush pipe through the wall for the softener. If you recall yesterday, I punched a hole through the wall and put the piece of PVC through there to put the pipe in. So that's done now. And then the generator if I decide to go that way. But every week that goes by, it's looking more and more like I might need to do that because the other day, I think I mentioned it on a video, the voltage dropped to 32 volts for about 3 hours. And it came up to 197. I checked it yesterday. It was up to 210. I have not checked it today, but I will. Just kind of keep track of it and see whereabouts it runs normally so I can have some information in my head before I make a decision. Cooler days are here. Mid-90s forecast. Today's, what, Monday, I think? Oh, shit, Saturday. Today's Saturday. Forecast through the weekend, mid-90s, and somewhere like 3 or 4 days out. I don't remember what day it is now, but it's, I suppose the high is like 89 degrees, so that'll be nice. We are still seeing some rain in the forecast, although we haven't had much the last couple days. What the hell? The minute hand fell off my watch. See it laying over top of that circle on the left? What the hell? I just looked down to see what time it was, and the damn thing fell apart. Come out here, and I pulled a bunch of extra rock out of that pile there and kind of stacked it along here to try to get a solid base right at the edge of the concrete. Really can't wait to get through with this build and just get everybody out of here and let us do our own thing, and we can get out of here. We were talking last night. I think we're just going to go down to Pattaya. As soon as we get everybody cleared out of here, get this place secured, we're going to take off for probably a week. We'll probably just go down to Pattaya and hang out. So if anybody's down in that area when we go, give us a shout. Maybe we can meet up and have a beer or something. That time again in Paradise. Another sunset. Not a lot of clouds tonight. A couple way in the distance, so it might turn a little orange on us. There's a thunderstorm brewing off to the south here, but I don't think it's going to get us. Pretty slow day today. It's just the Tylers here, but I got me a new bucket today. But it's a special bucket. It's my fish bucket. Figured out these catfish. I mentioned it in an earlier video, but I really tested it today. I bought like a 1/4 pound of chicken livers, which is smaller than my fist, probably half the size of my fist, maybe a little more than half. I caught 10 catfish. One of them was the biggest one we've got out of here yet. I couldn't get my hand halfway around the thing, and it was 18 inches long. Big catfish. So I caught 10 catfish, 4 tilapia. One of the tilapia I threw back because it was too small. It was one of the little baby ones. And then the second one I caught was a medium size. I threw it back because I was just after the catfish. But then I caught a tilapia that swallowed the hook. So I didn't want to throw him back in the pond. So I threw him in a barrel. A little later, I caught another one, threw it in there, and I caught a big old pacu. You might have seen it in the barrel there. But yeah, pretty good day fishing. Awesome. It's right here in my backyard. I can do it whenever I want. We get moved in here, I'll just keep frozen chicken livers in the freezer at all times. So if I want to go fishing, I can fish within a few minutes. Just throw them in a little bowl of water and thaw them out. But he got all this tiled here on the front. So they'll grout all this, and then the doors will get mortared in there. And then they worked on the one in the other bathroom as well. I don't know, this was an all-day job. That boy worked on this all day, literally all day. And this is what he got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces of tile. His dad did that whole thing in one day. Still waiting for the rest of the tile up there. The birds that insist on building a nest in there. I had cardboard and shit stuffed in there for about 4 days. They kept going in behind the cardboard, in behind the cardboard, in behind the cardboard. I said, I'm going to let them build a nest. I'm going to tear it out, and then they'll be pissed, and maybe they'll go away when they lose the whole nest. So this morning, I pulled it out. The cardboard and the plastic and everything had stuffed in there to try to keep them out. Pulled a full nest out of there, full nest, threw it out, and you just saw what they got back up there today already. Well, for some reason, the tile guy, the young man, closed these doors today. I don't know if he was cold. It probably was because it was under 100 today. But he closed these doors. Well, one of the birds must have come in the windows or something, but he tried heading out that door. The boy did, smacked the glass, hit the floor. So now I think they won't be back. Jared, I don't know why they got this door wide open. I don't want the wind to catch that. I got to get a door stop on there. Yeah, all the doors are on except that one and this one. As I said, the window guy's got to do that one because it's actually a glass sliding door. Not a sliding door, but a rollback door. As best I can tell, the only thing left is the plumber, the painters, and camera guy, CCTV. And then do all the work around the outside. But that's what we got for today. We will talk to you later.